You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Now your hosts, Cody Pennick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, gobble gobble and robble robble. It's a Hamburglar Thanksgiving at Nerd Overload. I guess. I'm Cody.
I'm Sam.
I'm
the Grimace.
The four-armed Grimace.
Yeah.
And I'm Samantha. What does
the breakfast
Birdie?
bird.
Birdie the breakfast. Birdie the early bird.
Yeah.
Who's Mayor McCheese?
You.
Oh, okay, that's fair. All right, well, hey, thank you all for tuning in. We have a great show for you this week. We have a bunch of news to go over, but first, let's talk about some things we have been checking out.
Check it out! What do we have here? The building blocks of shishi. Shishi meat, peaches, and guacamole.
What is that from?
Steve Brule?
Steve Brule.
Oh,
So
okay.
she's just
Cat scraps.
Yeah, just a bunch of cat scraps.
Just a bunch of cat scraps. You know what I think about that clip? I think it's a
Jackpot.
You've been busy.
yeah. I've added some to the soundboard.
Let's get our extremely seasonally appropriate check it out of the way. Like, just last night, we watched the Hulu produced, it's one of those Into the Dark movies. They have a bunch of horror movies they produced. This one is Thanksgiving themed. It's called Pilgrim.
Okay.
And it was pretty wild.
Well, at least you didn't watch Thanksgiving.
No, that movie's terrible.
That movie's terrible. Although someone from Marion, or at least someone who at one time taught at a Marion County high school, is in Thanksgiving.
Huh.
Yeah.
Pilgrim is a Thanksgiving-themed horror movie about a family whose mom invites Thanksgiving reenactor Pilgrim people into their home for Thanksgiving to teach their kids and her husband, I guess, to be grateful for and thankful for what they have.
Okay.
Via these pilgrims, I guess. But whoops, they're evil.
I was going to say the beginning of that sounds like an Arrested Development bit where they brought the guy with the one arm in to teach the family a lesson.
And that's why you always leave a note.
Yep.
Yeah, they turned out to be, religious zealots and crazy.
You still don't know like their whole deal,
Yeah,
do you?
it's true. It's still kind of, you don't know.
Ambiguous?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It plays it mostly straight, though. Like, it doesn't do, like, self-aware jokes or anything, but it still knows it's a ridiculous premise, but it runs with it.
Like, there's a teenage girl that is just completely full of sass about the whole situation.
Yeah, and she's pretty
yeah.
funny. Also has the same name as me, which is
Oh.
weird.
Yeah.
It's weird, actually. There's a Cody and a Shane, which is my brother's name in this movie, which was weird.
Oh, that is
Never
weird.
happened before.
Yeah, very weird.
Outside of probably a Western. Like, I don't want to get too spoilery with it, because it's worth watching.
Yeah, don't spoil it, but yeah. Why is it like there are a number of Thanksgiving-themed horror movies, and is it because it's a weird holiday one that people typically don't make horror movies about? Because there's Thanksgiving, there's Pilgrim, there's Blood Feast. It was the one about the twins.
That's a Herschel Gordon Lewis Blood Feast?
Was it Blood Feast or Blood Rage? Blood Rage
Oh.
with the twins, and the guy keeps saying that's not cranberry sauce.
I've not seen that one.
That's a bad night movie.
Ah.
Yeah, it's terrible, but
I mean, I would hope so for it to be a bad movie night movie.
oh yeah, but no, there are a number of Thanksgiving themed horror films.
I mean, I know I've watched a handful of Christmas themed
that
horror
one's
movies.
That one's easy though.
Yeah.
But the fun part is when the movie starts up, like for the opening credits roll, this is based on a mostly true story. And then at the end, it says that again, and it shows a picture of two kids and like a pilgrim. Like it was someone's home photo. Like,
Oh jeez.
So
somebody's mom hired an angry pilgrim or something.
like I want to know that story.
Yeah, the real story behind it. Oh,
I
yeah.
Googled around a little, and I couldn't really find anything. But there's a story there, and I want to know it.
Yeah, that is. Wow, that's crazy.
That's what I hate when I see like some of these like really outrageous horror movies and they say it like based on true events or something, and I'm like, how is any of this a true event?
I would have just assumed that they lied, but then there was that photo at the end, and it's like,
I mean,
it really makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Probably just hired a pilgrim to teach him about Thanksgiving, but
Or a Quaker. An angry Quaker. Can Quakers even be angry? They're pacifists.
Yeah, they're not allowed, but I'm sure it happens. There's a lot of like creepy bearded pilgrim men walking around their house, and
like it slowly gets more chaotic.
yeah,
It's weird.
Yeah, no, definitely gonna have to check that one out. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's competent and doesn't take itself seriously. But it's better than something like a Sharknado. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha. So it winks at the premise, but it's not a full blown
Hey,
farce.
look how bad this movie is.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. So
Yeah.
well, that's good. That's kind of the sweet spot. Well, that's excellent. I actually watched a couple of movies, a couple of documentaries actually during the couple of weeks off. First one was Class Action Park.
Oh, we've seen that one.
Oh, that one's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a documentary based on Action Park, which was in New Jersey in the late 70s and 80s. I think it ended up closing in like late 90s, early 2000s, something like that.
It closed and reopened a couple times.
Yeah, but that's not the important part. The important part is apparently every ride in this water park was a screaming death trap. Like every single one was not built up to any kind of code whatsoever. The guy who owned the park hated rules and loved money and possibly cocaine. I mean, the water slide that was just a freestanding loop where so
People's teeth would get impacted.
people's teeth got like stuck in the side of the loop because they were too big or something. And then someone else complained that they got scratched going around the loop from the teeth that were stuck in.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The documentary definitely is at its best when it's describing the ludicrous rides and the crazy stuff that people did while they were working there. They had a go-kart track that they would take the governors off the go-karts and drive like 60 miles per hour around this track and take it on the highway and stuff.
Yeah, there was a highway that split like right in the middle of the
Yeah, you had to
park,
cross
too.
a highway to get to the second half of the park.
What?
Yeah, it did get a little... it did become a pretty big bummer when they spoke to the parent of one of the few deaths at this park. That actually leads to probably the only real downside, I think, to the documentary. Not only was that story sad, but the very end, the last shot of the documentary with the two parents visiting the grave of their son seemed so forced and so like in a movie that was very...
It's whiplash.
Yeah.
It's whiplash, for one, and two, it seemed very staged in a movie that otherwise was not very staged.
Like, I understand wanting to get serious about it, but it didn't fit.
It didn't fit, not at all.
The rest of the movie, they're making jokes and they want you to have a good time, and then all of a sudden they want to be like, all right, now they're going to bring it down. Now it's sad.
Yeah. It's like at that point the movie turned its chair around and sat down and said, now we're all having a good time here. But let's remember that
People
this park
died.
did kill upwards of a half dozen people.
Especially that wave pool of death.
That wave pool of death that killed like 3 people.
Jeez.
Yeah. Wave pool of death, that one ride that was just a giant slip and slide down a hill. That's all it was. It was like a bobsled or a luge where they didn't have protective. Well, that was where that first kid got killed. It was like a luge. So you were sitting on like a cart.
Yeah.
And just whipping down a hill with twists and turns, but there was no guardrails, there were no anything, and the brakes on most of the carts were broken. So the kid went careening off the side and like,
Oh my god.
yeah. But don't worry about that. Let's talk about the giant waterfall that you just jump into 17 foot deep, freezing cold lake water with fish biting you.
Oh wow.
As you get contact shock from going from hot to cold because you're jumping off of like blindingly hot asphalt.
While a 14 to 16-year-old lifeguard reads a magazine.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It is almost cartoonish in the way that, like, if regular show did an episode where they went to
A water
park, it would be this water park. Yeah.
I went down a weird YouTube hole the other day of theme park accidents.
Really?
Not videos of them.
Oh, okay.
Videos about them. I wouldn't sit there all day and watch people die at theme parks. That's
that
weird.
would be, yeah.
But I will watch stories about it. And there was one, I think it was the Schlitterbahn. It was a water slide at the Schlitterbahn, which is like a Midwestern water park.
It's like down in Texas or something, right?
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Where the guy wanted to build this huge water slide. No company, couldn't get any company to agree to do it. Mm-hmm. So he decided, well, we'll do it ourselves then.
Oh,
and of course, he's not a ride designer. He's a guy that owns the Schlitterbahn. And they built it themselves. And Schlitterbahn had a deal with the state where they could act as their own ride inspectors.
Oh my gosh.
So they built this dangerous friggin' water slide, inspected it themselves, and said, yeah, this is good. And then, a kid died on it.
Oh my god.
Because you would catch air. It went down real steep, real fast, and then hit a hill and back down. So people would catch air.
And like launch off.
Yeah, and they had netting there, but it was also netting with metal bars across it. So a kid launched off, hit right on the metal bar, and died.
Oh my god.
But all because the owner of the park thought he could be a ride designer, and the state let them inspect their own rides, which sounds like a bad idea all the way around.
Just all the
That is like a lasagna made of liable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like Action Park. That guy, no one would insure him, so he created his own fake park insurance using his own money in a Cayman Islands bank.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like a fake shell insurance company.
Yeah, just to say that he had a real cheap insurance.
Man, that is like level on level of just dirty.
Yeah. What was he doing to test rides? He would like hold $100 bills at the bottom of like the slides that he wanted his employees to test out for him. And that was the one that had the freestanding loop that people lost their teeth on and stuff. Craziness.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the other documentary is actually a series of documentaries. It's like a bunch of short hour-long docs. It's on Disney Plus, and it's all based on Marvel Comics.
Oh, we watched the Japanese Spider-Man.
You watched the Japanese Spider-Man one. Okay,
and half
great.
of the one after that.
Okay.
The Women in Comics one.
Well, we kind of jumped around a little bit, but I definitely watched the Japanese Spider-Man one. So the series, oh yeah, right. The series is called 616, which is kind of cool. That's a reference to Marvel comic universe and stuff. But they're all, it's like 8 hour long or just under an hour long documentaries. The first one is on the Toei Spider-Man TV series that was done back in the 70s. It was really well done.
It was.
Yeah.
They actually treated the topic with like respect.
Yeah, they didn't go, "Oh, look at this goofy weird thing with Spider-Man in it." No, they spoke to a lot of the actors. They talked to the guy who was in the suit that did a lot of those stunts. Didn't realize a lot of those stunts were done without nets and without any kind of safety precautions. They just kind of had him climb stuff.
Sounds like the 70s.
Yeah.
Also sounds like Japan.
Yeah. But no, the guy who played the face actor for Spider-Man, he was just hearing him talk about the project and hearing him talk about really how much he loved working on that show. It was really a labor of love for that series.
I've watched bits and pieces of Japanese Spider-Man, and it is goofy and fun and awesome, and it's a Spider-Man Sentai.
Well, it really made it look like it's not just this wacky, crazy thing. Like, it was actually pretty intelligently localized for the market that they were going for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had there was an American liaison. I forget what the guy's name was, but I know his initials are GP because that's the name of his car. That was GP7 was Spider-Man's car, and it was an in-joke because GP, and they're like, oh, 7's a lucky number. Let's call it 7. So, but this was an American guy who spent a lot of time in Japan, and he was kind of the liaison between Marvel in New York and Stan Lee directly and Toei. And a lot of the American board members were not into it. They're like, this looks really hokey. This looks very dumb. People aren't going to watch this. Stan gave him a chance, which is awesome. And two, it was exactly what the market wanted.
And Stan was savvy enough to realize it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that thing he said, the kids will love it because of the action, and the adults will love it because of the camp.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's the exact same mindset as Adam West Batman. Mix of camp and stuff that the kids are going to love because of the Biff Bams and Pows.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I watched a couple of the other episodes in the 616 series. One was it was kind of a mockumentary. So every episode is directed by a different director. So they're not all kind of told the same way. One is a mockumentary following Paul Scheer, the comedian. He gets this idea. He wants to bring back a little used Marvel super team to today. He picks the 90s creation Brute Force.
Oh.
Who are a bunch of animals in robot suits.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's a mockumentary, but hidden within the mockumentary is actually a really, really smart documentary on the Marvel process when it comes to creating multimedia and the toyeticness of a lot of their products and what goes into designing for shows and the backstory of these characters that Brute Force was created around the same time Marvel was doing a lot of they had a lot of comic series based on toy lines like Micronauts and ROM Space Knight, and they had the G.I. Joe, Transformers, that sort of thing. And Brute Force was Marvel's idea of going, well, we have these toy companies that are giving us ideas for our book. Why don't we just make a very toyetic book that we can then shop to a toy company, kind of reverse it and make a little extra money on the side? And that's transforming robot animal people. That's the idea. But no, it was really interesting. It had some cameos. John Hamm shows up in it. Ron Funches is in it. A couple of other folks. But it's really well done. And the last one I watched was on cosplay. And it followed 4 or 5 different, I think it was 5 different cosplay kind of groups and various walks of their fandom and where they're at in their cosplay kind of career, I guess. They followed one that she's, a semi-professional. I mean, she's a professional cosplayer as well as a game designer or something. And then they followed one that, when you go to a convention and you're sitting and watching the cosplay contest and someone uses it as their excuse to do their 10-minute shtick. Like they get a little too in character and start doing a bit when they walk on stage. It was that kind of cosplayer, the one that does a bit, got a little too into their character, I guess. And then there was one that followed a guy who almost exclusively cosplays as Captain America, and it was the first time his wife went with him to a con, and she went as Peggy Carter. And the fourth one was actually someone I follow on Instagram, the cosplay dog. So she is the cosplayer is autistic, high functioning autistic, and has sensory overload kind of issues. And she started taking her service animal to conventions and then started creating costumes for her service animal and became kind of well known for having
a costume dog.
Costume dog, and also she got into costume, and it kind of helped her relate more to people because she is able to kind of put on kind of a persona a little bit, that sort of thing. And again, it was just really nice. It wrapped up at New York Comic Con, where they were all kind of going through the the one that is the professional cosplayer was a judging some of the other people, and it followed some of the folks that went there.
Who's the professional cosplayer?
Oh, I forget what her name is, but when a lot of the BLM stuff started popping up and people were talking about cosplay what you want, no matter your race, gender, creed, color, whatever, a lot of her stuff came up. I don't remember what her name is off the top of my head. I'll have to look it up. But she has an excellent Shuri Black Panther costume, and she has a really, really, really good Captain Marvel and a couple others that were really, really well done. But yeah, I highly recommend. I haven't watched any of the other ones, but yeah, if you like documentaries and you like Marvel stuff, and it's not tied into the movies, it is more more of the comic side of things,
which is good.
Yeah, it's really cool.
The women in Marvel one had Kelly Sue within the first 2 minutes, so they did that right.
Yeah, did that right. There you go. Marion Zone, Kelly Sue DeConnick.
Yes.
We started watching the Animaniacs reboot.
Yes, we have too.
It's very good.
Yes.
It's very, very good.
I've enjoyed it.
Like, I was worried because there were reviews saying that it wasn't that good.
Yeah, the reviews have been kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But actually watching it, like straight from the opening and everything, was like, okay, this is great. It almost feels like it's more meta than it was before.
Oh, it definitely is.
And there's like, in one episode, like, the Clinton playing the sax does pop up again.
I think the Warners have been all good, but the Pinky and the Brain stuff has been really good.
That's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing the Pinky and the Brain may as well, I mean, other than like using smartphones and stuff like that, it's just like watching an old episode of Pinky and the Brain.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's almost like just like they have a completely different writing team for the Pinky and the Brain than they do the Warners. It's two like very different like styles, I guess.
Yeah.
One thing that Nicole brought up to me while we were watching it, she goes, if the Warners weren't in the tower for 20 years, where have they been?
It's a good question.
Like I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they were homeless.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't they don't explain it, and I mean they don't really need to.
That's true. That's true.
Sorry to interrupt. Okay, I found the professional or semi-professional cosplayer from that documentary. On Instagram, her handle is Cutie Pie Sensei. But yeah, like really well done costumes and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, go ahead. Anyway, continue.
Some of the new characters aren't too bad, but part of me keeps feeling like I want to see old characters come back.
And they cut almost all of them.
Yeah. I mean, there's like one episode where they're kind of all there, but they don't really do much with them. But also the fact that Ralph, the inept security guard, is still there.
Well, and they changed the CEO. The CEO is a woman now, too. She has a really good design. I like her character design. She's got, like, this pointy nose and, like...
She's also, like, insane.
Yeah.
But there's, like, a big painting of, like, the old CEO on the wall. There's so many good things. And, like, some of the new songs have been really good, too.
I think they've leaned a little too hard on the songs.
Yeah.
Because, like, almost every episode has one. And I don't think the original show was
They had a lot of songs, but they weren't like every episode.
Yeah, you weren't guaranteed a song every episode, but this version you pretty much are. They've really ladled them on.
Yeah. Has Yakko done an updated Countries of the World or anything like that?
No, but they've made plenty of jokes about it.
Yeah, because that's
his thing.
Yeah.
That's Rob Paulson's one thing.
Yeah, like Wacko, like, oh, Mr. Countries of the World.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, they do like an election special, and they have Wacko on the maps, and he starts doing the state capital song.
Jeez.
But then he gets mad because like it's the same every time. It doesn't change like the countries of the world does.
That's great.
I feel like all the voices are good. Like Wacko sounds exactly the same. Yakko sounds pretty much the same.
Well,
The only one that really sounds different is Dot.
they're all 20 years older.
Oh, I know.
That's
That and they've given Dot more to do.
Oh, yeah.
They even changed in the theme song, instead of it just saying she's cute, now she has wit.
oh, Wit. Okay, that's cool.
So they've given her better and more lines, I feel like.
Like first episode, they bring up breaking the glass ceiling, and they have like a bunch of like caricatures of prominent women like hanging from like glass ceilings with hammers, smashing the glass.
Oh, the best joke was there's a tram tour going through the lot, and the tour guide goes, and there's where we filmed Batman, and all the people on the ride go, ooh, and then she finishes and goes, versus Superman, and then everybody on the tram's like, oh.
That was a really good
Oh,
show.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, I think it's a really good, though they keep hammering on the joke of being a reboot pretty hard.
Yeah, they could have lightened up on that a little bit.
Well, you know what? When they get to their second season, maybe they'll just kind of get back into the.
Well, it got to a point in one of the episodes where they just went, reboot! Like,
That's good. That's good. Well, hey, let's go ahead and take a break here, and when we come back, we'll get into some news. Hey, we're back. That was We Are Family by Sister Sledge. It's kind of Thanksgiving themed.
It's like-
family.
it's like the closest you can get to
Yeah.
a Thanksgiving song.
Yeah.
It's either a Thanksgiving song or a Fast and the Furious song.
yeah.
It's about family.
It's about family.
Oh man, can you imagine? Can you imagine Vin Diesel covering "We Are Family"? We are family.
Street Sharks.
Yeah. Oh man, he'd be so hyped about Street Sharks. All right, so hey, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of news.
Neutrinos have been around for thousands of years. Who started grambling? Who was the first big-time riverboat grambler? Who cares? Probably some hunk who said, want bats? What are you waiting for? Let's go gramble.
What the heck?
You need to watch more Steve Brule.
Yeah.
Apparently.
One of paper equals four of coin. Jackpot.
Wait.
Jackpot.
We actually have some Disney Plus news stuff, right? Looking at the list. Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck coming to Disney Plus.
As a reboot.
As a reboot.
New
Darkwing Duck. Yes.
I guess as a spin-off to DuckTales, I suppose.
I suppose, yeah. I guess it would be
done
kind
in
of
the same
that.
art style. And everything.
Yeah. And that's great. I like the art style on DuckTales, and I love Darkwing Duck. So
Like I'm hoping like it'll kind of maybe help bring other stuff because the DuckTales series itself makes a lot of references.
Oh yeah, they've
like-
done Tailspin stuff.
They mention the town that Goofy's from.
Goofy has been on DuckTales
Has he?
now at this point.
Man,
Yeah,
I've missed a lot of episodes.
as Goof Troop Goofy, like with his
Oh,
eye
with
and
Max.
Max wasn't there, but he had a bunch of pictures of Max in his wallet. Like,
Oh, wow.
like you would.
Like you would, yeah, of course.
There's also a whole episode about it's a gummy bears reference.
Huh.
Yeah, it's about gummy berry juice.
And there's one that explains the origin of the Rescue Rangers as well.
Really? Wow, they're really kind of going all out. That's kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, hey, Darkwing Duck, I am all for it. Give me
let's get
some of that good
dangerous.
stuff. Yeah.
Honestly, of like the Disney afternoon stuff, Darkwing Duck was always one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But plus, he's the superhero one. Well,
Kind of.
the Batman-esque superhero one.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's a Batman parody.
It's Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, favorite Darkwing Duck villain.
Ooh.
I always liked Megavolt.
Yeah, he's not a bad one.
Bushroot's a good one.
Yeah, I was picturing him in my head.
Liquidator.
Liquidator is a good one.
I like he's got the used car salesman kind of pitchman like
Yeah.
voice. He's pretty
I
funny.
feel like Negaduck is too much of a
Negaduck's kind of a cop out a little
yeah,
bit.
Yeah.
he kind of is.
Yeah.
I liked his color scheme though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, do you remember that episode where what's his name? The toy themed
Or Quackerjack.
Quackerjack and Megavolt create like a time machine.
The time top.
The time
yeah.
top, yeah. And they do like a whole like Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
kind of like
the
Darkwing
episode
Duck.
was called The Duck Knight Returns or something like
that's right.
that.
That was
Yeah,
what it was called,
because Gosling goes in
Missing.
goes into the future with Megavolt and Quackerjack, and it affects the time stream. That version of Darkwing Duck is really angry because he thought she ran away from home
or died
or something, and
went dark
and like had like giant muscles and guns and stuff. I always liked Tuscanini, the thespian actor.
that is a good one.
Steelbeak.
There's just a lot of good villains.
I don't remember any of these.
Yeah, Steelbeak. There for a while, Darkwing Duck. He became almost like a Maxwell Smart kind
Like
of
Bond thing.
like awful James Bond ripoff. And Steelbeak
Well, that was the
like,
original concept.
Yeah.
Was a James Bond parody. What was
Yeah.
it called? 00 Duck.
00 Duck.
00 Duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Steelbeak was basically Jaws. He was a
Kind-
chicken with a metal beak.
Yeah. And I think he was voiced by Rob Paulson because he had that like
Rob Paulson.
Rob Paulson-y voice too, nasally voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there was
Taurus Bulba.
yeah, he's like the original villain.
He's
He's in the DuckTales episode.
He is.
but he's not a
episode.
villain. I don't think. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I just saw a picture of you. It looked really friendly.
Well, I mean, he is at the beginning.
And then there was Darkwing's like sorceress girlfriend.
Oh, Morgana.
Mm-hmm.
I always get her mixed up with
Magic of Dispel.
Yep. Well, wasn't there? I think no. It wasn't a episode of the show, but it was in the comics. Magica Dispel and Morgana.
Meet.
Yeah, they go head to head. Because Morgana finally gets the
fall in
lucky.
love.
Yeah, no. They Morgana or Magica Dispel gets the magic lucky penny.
Oh, the dime?
Yeah,
The lucky dime.
the lucky dime, and like it powers up her magic.
Well, that was actually pretty much the whole plot point of the first season of the new DuckTales.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Is
Interesting.
is basically like they had a bunch of episodes and they started getting real deep into this whole Magic of Dispel thing.
Interesting.
And she's the season finale like two-parter,
Like
Yeah.
villainess kind of thing. Oh, cool.
and it all revolves around getting the dime.
No, that's awesome.
Um,
But yeah, I'm just happy more Darkwing Duck. I love this resurgence of
the Disney afternoon
Disney
stuff.
afternoon stuff. Absolutely.
I'd
Yeah.
love to see a tailspin.
Give me a nice reboot of Gargoyles. Gargoyles
that show
needs a
is
live
so-
action show or a live action movie.
It
They
lends
could do
itself
it.
very well.
They could do it.
because it was a very serious action show that had a gun PSA episode.
It very much did. Yeah.
I like how the new DuckTales casted Christina Valenzuela as young Donald.
Yes, I was just going to mention that. Yeah. That's awesome.
That's a big get, I feel like.
It is. Yeah, she's a pretty big voice actress. For sure.
I meant for her.
Oh
but-
yeah, for her too. Yeah. Well, that too. Yeah.
I mean, when you're up there with David Tennant,
Yeah.
yeah.
When you're voicing a version of one of the three pillar Disney boys.
Yeah. I guess she voices some of the Bug Snacks in that game Bug Snacks.
Yes.
That's wild.
dude, Rita Repulsa voices a character in Bug Snacks.
Bug Snacks is good though.
I've watched about 2 hours of a Let's Play of Bug Snacks.
That's about how
and-
much of Bug Snacks I've played is about 2 hours.
Yeah. Did you get to the part where they all start arguing around the campfire?
Yes, the party.
Yeah, the party where one of the Muppets yells at the other one, tells him that he's too bullheaded. That's why his wife left.
Yeah. It's a game about it's part Pokemon Snap, part like helping these people with their emotional problems.
Yeah.
Like-
Someone, the way it was described to me, or I heard it was described, was like if someone took a Disney, like a kids game and a rated E for everyone game, and then like ramped up all of the weirdness and like the grossness and like made it like an M rated game and then cranked it back down, like you know how you take words like sentences and put them through multiple Google Translate filters, and it's like it's an E-rated game that has gone through 4 or 5 different transitions back and forth between E-rated and M-rated. So it's rated E for everyone, but it's weird.
Yeah.
The sub sandwich centipede freaked me the heck out because it has little French fries for legs. It's like there's like 10 segments to like this centipede that's a sub.
I don't think I saw that.
It's like a giant submarine sandwich, and it has French fries for legs, and
the
it just like
has curly fries for legs.
Oh yeah, no, this one it has regular like crumpled up French fries for feet, and it like skitters around, and there's like it's long. It's like party sub sized. Yeah,
I like the burger. I like the burger one's name is Bunger.
Bunger.
And
Yeah.
it just crawls around going Bunger, Bunger, Bunger. all the bug snack designs are fun and cute. Like it's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so what else do we want to talk about on the list? We really don't have much in the way of like
Meaty
good things that
news.
transfer from one thing to another.
Let's talk about Clifford, man.
It's Clifford.
Let's talk about Clifford, man.
Clifford's not here, man.
Yeah, so there's a teaser for Clifford the Big Red Dog
That's the sting
live action.
for whenever we talk about news about Clifford the Big Red Dog. Let's talk about Clifford, man.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Even though this is probably the only time we'll talk about this.
Yeah. But yeah, Clifford the Big Red Dog.
You know those children books with the giant dog.
I didn't read them growing up. They were not part of my...
loved Clifford.
Yeah.
He had like the full set of Clifford books.
I think my sister had maybe a Clifford book. But
I remember the toys at McDonald's.
I don't even remember that.
Like in my household, like the Berenstein Bears was the big thing.
You mean the Berenstain Bears?
Yeah, however way it goes with that Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Oh, we were a Clifford and also Magic School Bus household.
I had a couple of Magic School Bus. We had the little golden books, the ones with like the golden spine.
Yeah, that ripped all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Those were terribly designed.
Yeah.
So anyway, Clifford the Big Red Dog, children's book from a bygone era, is getting a movie, and it looks...
It's live action, and Clifford does not look big enough, and he doesn't look red enough.
Which sounds really pedantic.
But it's the truth.
Like if somebody was making a joke specifically about nerd podcasters complaining about a movie, that would be something they would write. But it's true, though.
It's the absolute truth. He looks less like a red dog and more like a dog that they spray painted red.
Or a dog that has rolled in the blood of its enemies.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Clifford, you know, he's a big dog. He's a big boy.
Basically a kaiju.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Or at least he was in the books, so he's not as big.
Yeah.
There's another picture. It's not in the trailer, but there's a picture of him standing next to like a city apartment or something. And he's like maybe a story tall.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
that's barely Marmaduke height.
Like the first... Because Great Danes are huge.
Mm-hmm.
Really, in the first couple books, whatever, he grows.
Well, yeah, he starts as a real tiny puppy and then gets real big. That's the
whole shtick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he'll end up being much bigger.
That's true. Maybe this is like some sort of teen Clifford.
And then Ken Watanabe will show up and go, "Let them fight."
Let them fight. Clifford begins.
Have you seen some of the set pictures?
No, I haven't. I did not know this existed until
Today?
you told us to watch the teaser trailer between the break.
There's like this big, like terrifying, like red nightmare skeleton they used in place of Clifford in the shot.
You know what? They should have got Andy Serkis to be Clifford.
He says they didn't.
Yeah, for all we know, they might have. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's Cody, while you're looking up that picture of Nightmare Clifford, let's do some quick hits here. So, yeah, no, that's a terror dog.
Oh, what the heck?
I don't like it. I don't like that one bit. No, thank you. It looks like a wiffle ball, but like in dog form.
If a dog's skeleton was made of wiffle balls.
Yeah, I don't care for it. Did they have people inside it? It looked like one of those,
it was
like a Chinese
dragon, New Year dragon,
or like a cartoon horse costume.
Yeah. Yes, that's it. So, speaking of movies, Johnny Depp is no longer going to be part of the Harry Potter
Fantastic Beasts
oeuvre. He's being replaced by Mads Mikkelsen.
which is a step up for the franchise. I
Yeah,
guess.
I think so.
And probably a bullet dodge for Johnny Depp because the movie's probably going to stink on
It's
ice.
probably going to stink on ice. But Mads Mikkelsen is a good actor. People may know him probably best from that Hannibal Lecter show that was on, and also
Death Stranding,
where
Well, he's also in Rogue One.
he is in Rogue One briefly. He's Jay.
He's Jay Urso's dad.
Yeah, Jane Urso's dad.
The engineer of the Death Star.
Yeah.
He's the daddy of the babies in Death Stranding or something. I don't know. I never finished it.
He's a ghost man. Clifford Unger is a ghost man.
He's
and
also like
Clifford.
he's like the A villain in Doctor Strange.
That's right, he was.
Oh, that's right. He is in Doctor Strange.
Yeah. That movie has barely a villain in it.
I know. Well,
true.
but he is like the one action-y villain they have.
I
He's
guess,
the one that
yeah.
wasn't a big CGI monstrosity.
That was also played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Smog.
Smaug.
Smaug. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I think that's how. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I read in the Cimmerillion. There's a pronunciation.
You mean the
key.
Cimmerillion?
Yeah. That's how real Tolkien scholars pronounce it.
The desolation of Smaug. Yes.
They just sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to read The Hobbit.
Gandalf.
Bilbo Baggins.
Get to the Lonely Mountain. Get the ring from Gollum.
Okay, we got to move on. We can't have dueling Schwarzeneggers. Not on this episode. All right. Wonder Woman 84 is getting a same-day release in theaters and on HBO Max on Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
New Wonder Woman movie.
It's going to probably one of the best DC movies.
I mean, hopefully, but we don't know.
I hope it's good.
They may
I
have
hope it's
meddled in
good.
this one.
Oh,
I
if
hope
it's
it's
not
good.
if it's not good, I'll be so mad.
Oh, same here. Same here. So
I mean, I feel like every big movie is going to probably do that for a while. Until COVID is vaccinated.
It was
or whatever.
probably the best, smartest way for them to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do to see this one because I don't want to pay $20 to sit at home and watch it, but also
I don't want to go out
going
amongst
to
the
a
masses
theater.
either.
Yeah.
Well, it's on HBO Max. That's what they're doing with it, isn't it?
Well, I thought it was going to be a similar thing to
Mulan.
the Mulan
Oh, no,
thing.
I don't think they're going to charge extra.
Oh, they're not gonna charge? Oh, then
maybe.
there we go.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
We're going to have to look that one up.
Yeah, we'll have to research that one. But anyway, yeah, we thought that they weren't going to release it until 2021, but no, this is great. This is
And yet
great
we
news.
still can't get Black Widow.
Yeah, I
Right?
I know, right? I don't know.
Like the movie's been done for like a year and a half.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Ugh.
Speaking of other things going to HBO Max, or potentially going to HBO Max, rather, the Venture Brothers
Might be saved.
Yeah, the Adult Swim show that
That's really
everybody
awesome.
loves and is super, super good. It was canceled this past couple months ago,
and people have been mad about it.
So it might be going to HBO Max, which is good.
I mean, it makes sense because a lot of Cartoon Network stuff has been going to HBO Max. Like they're getting like the streaming rights for like Rick and Morty. The continuation of Adventure Time has been playing on HBO Max.
Yeah. So this is a good fit. It also kind of fits in with Doc Hammer and Jackson Public's production style of Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
Which is there's no real time frame. It's just whenever there's a
When you get it
handful of
done.
when there's a handful of episodes done, we'll give you a handful of episodes. There's never been like a set steady schedule for this show, and I think that's what makes it as good as it is.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
quality over quantity.
Black Lightning is getting one final season on the CW. It's ending with season 4.
I mean, I'll admit I haven't watched it.
I haven't either.
Like I fell off the CW superhero stuff a long time ago.
Same here. It almost got me back in with the Crisis on Infinite Earths
Yeah.
crossover. It almost got me back in.
It's kind of
But,
nuts, like how much stuff on CW is ending now.
Yeah, it's almost like they're trying to move away from all that stuff,
Like-
or clean the palette for other
'cause
shows.
Supernatural just ended. Arrow
Yeah.
ended. I'm not even sure if Flash is still going.
Flash is still going. Flash is still going. Supergirl has another season in it. Although I think Supergirl is also ending.
Batwoman is in
Kind of a
shift.
limbo-ish
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
They are not charging extra for
They're
Wonder
not.
Woman on
Oh, well,
HBO
there we
Max.
go.
There
I
we
might have
go.
to buy 1 month of HBO Max and watch it, and then
It's still cheaper than going to a theater.
it is. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Cody, why don't you pick something that's left on the list? We've been kind of bouncing around a little bit.
You want to talk about wrestling?
Let's talk about wrestling. What do you know about wrestling?
Well, apparently there's been some to-dos in the wrestling community and the Twitch community.
Yes.
Some wrestlers who do their own Twitch streams to make some side dollar bills have gotten into kind of a kerfuffle with alleged turd man Vince McMahon. I think I'm allowed
Vince
to say
McMahon.
that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so this is something, and again, I don't follow a whole lot of wrestling, but from what I understand from the reports that I've read, what is happening is some wrestlers, like you mentioned, are going to Twitch to try to make some, kind of bolster their fan base, kind of try to set up some sort of career post-wrestling, that
Also,
sort of thing.
it's probably just fun to do.
And plus, yeah, I mean...
Not every wrestler can be like The Rock and go on into movies.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sometimes you end up like, well, the main focus of this story, one of the two main focuses is Xavier Woods, who wrestler. His real name, or at least the stage name that he uses when he's not Xavier Woods on stage, is Austin Creed. Austin Creed has had a really successful YouTube channel called Up Up Down Down, where he played video games with other wrestlers or just reviewed other games, that sort of thing.
Another gaming channel.
Yeah. He played the YouTube game.
He played the YouTube game, and now he's getting into Twitch. And Vince McMahon went to him and said, "Oh, wait, no. Not only do I own the Xavier Woods persona, I own your likeness as well. So you need, whether you play under your real name or your fake wrestle name, you owe me money because you are using your likeness." And it's not just him. There's a whole bunch of them. You mentioned Paige, the wrestler, who, I mean, she's injured to the point where she can't wrestle anymore. Her one bad hit and her head will pop clean off at this point. But she can't do any kind of Twitch anything.
And they were giving her a lot of side work through wrestling. Like
she was the manager for the Kabuki Warriors temporarily.
Yeah, and she does a lot
until she got the
this,
green mist in the face.
Yeah, which could have just blown her head clear off.
It could have blown her head clean off. Yeah.
It makes me really wonder, what kind of terrible contracts have people signed on with Vince McMahon?
They sound like college basketball and football players, college sports athletes.
Yeah, that's kind of... Yeah, you joke, but that's really kind of what it is. Vince McMahon, he's not the super rich mogul man that he is today persona. By being a nice business guy. He is allegedly a very bad man behind the scenes, and
this only further proves that.
Yeah,
allegedly,
yes.
I mean, to be fair, he kind of plays his persona of being a terrible businessman, on the stage, but now it kind of sucks that he's maybe an actual, allegedly bad man.
Yes. Thank you for adding that extra word in there. We needed that. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know how much else we could talk about with this other than it's a bad deal that a lot of these wrestlers are getting, and it's not fair for them to not be able to use their likeness.
Faces. It's their face.
Yeah, it's their face.
They're not slaves.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is. But hey, good for Xavier Woods, Austin Creed, same guy. He signed on to be part of the new crew for the new G4. That was just announced the other day. Yeah.
Has our call come yet?
Not yet. I've been hanging by the Nerd Overload phone.
It's kind of nuts that G4's coming back.
They had a huge charity stream the other night.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I still don't get it.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why, but
well,
reboot.
Adam Pereira and Adam Sessler need to do something.
True.
They need a job. Robert Englund's going to be on the next season of Stranger Things.
Yes, he's going to play some kind of murderer.
Some kind of spooky man.
You don't say.
Some sort of... the question's still in the air whether or not he'll wear a fedora or a sweater. But he will be a spooky murder man in the next season of Stranger Things, apparently.
Yeah.
They've gone from making a pastiche of 80s culture to just putting it directly
Just
into
ripping
the
it
show.
off. Yeah. Yeah. Robert Englund, for the folks who don't know, was Freddy in the...
He's the original Freddy Krueger.
he's Freddy Krueger.
He is
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, he is.
It just seems a little too on the nose for me. But I don't know, it could be fine. I don't know. I
You
haven't
know
seen
what?
it.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I'm sure they'll do a good job. I'm sure the premise hasn't gotten long in the tooth yet.
Oh, speaking of which, we've made it to Friday the 13th, part 4 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're up to part 4.
Okay. What'd you think of what was it? Was part 3 the one that was supposed to be in 3D?
I think that might have been 2.
Second one.
Yeah.
That was 2?
That
Okay.
was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many scenes where they're just like wiggling a friggin' stick in your face.
Stick or like a yo-yo
Yeah.
or like the eyeball that pops out and hangs in the air for way too long or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Every time it would happen, I'd be like, whoa! It's like it's coming right at me.
You know, I've still yet to watch any episodes of Stranger Things.
It's good.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
I mean, I don't quite understand the cultural, like, oh my godness of it, but I get it. It's fine. It's
I
good.
can see it in the first season.
First season,
The
yeah.
first season
Okay.
was like, oh my god, good. Second season's fine.
Yeah.
It's good.
I liked it originally when the second season was going to have nothing to do with anything else. Like, it was just going to be a brand new show with new characters and a new plot.
And a new spooky thing happening.
spooky thing.
Yeah.
You mean
Yeah.
kind of like an American Horror Story kind of
Kind
thing?
of. Yeah. Yep.
But America loves those kids.
They love that Finn Wolfsman.
Wolf boy.
Yeah. They love that sweet wolf boy.
Mowgli?
I feel bad for that kid because it's like everything he does is intrinsically tied to the 80s, to like 80s
Yeah.
like nostalgia. Because he's going to be in the Ghostbusters reboot.
yeah.
He's in Stranger Things. He was in that Weezer video.
He's an it.
He was in It. Yeah. I hope he can eventually get out of the 80s.
He was in the Addams Family,
He was?
the animated one.
Oh, yeah.
He's Pugsley.
That's right. He was. He did do that, didn't he?
Also, that movie.
Yeah, well. It would have been better if it was live action.
Yeah.
All right, well, hey, with that, let's go ahead and wrap things up for the week. You've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at Nerd Overload Now.
You can email us at staff@nerdoverload.com.
You can give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline and leave us a voicemail that we might play on the show. The number's 586-372-8020. Tell us your favorite Finn Wolfhard role.
Perfect. Nailed it.
I thought he was good in it.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. I thought he was okay in that one
Ninja Sex Party
video. Yeah. You can find all of our back episodes on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. And finally, I'd like to thank David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff over at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
You know, Millie Bobby Brown was really the more talented one of the bunch of kids.